Sakuraba started off in a band that went through a few name changes, lasting about 5 years before he got into composing music with Wolf Team in late 1989, the team that would later be renamed as Namco Tales Studio, and then Namco Bandai Games when the two companies merged. Still called Wolf Team, he worked together with Masaaki Uno, the sound director for the more sporty Mario games, and Yasunori Shinono, the composer for Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals, a fantastic soundtrack. The team's big breakthrough game was Tales of Fantasia when working with Namco in 1995. With Motoi Sakuraba's work showing off his progressive rock influence, he was recruited to compose for Tri-Ace, the company formed of a few people who worked on the Tales of Fantasia game. Tri-Ace developed Star Ocean and Valkyrie Profile, with Sakuraba composing for nearly all of their games. The earliest exposure I had to Sakuraba's work was Valkyrie Profile when I had rented it from Blockbusters back in the olden days. At first I hated the game itself, with my 10-year-old brain not really knowing these weird mechanics of sending your best fighters to fight in some god war, only to have Freya laser me to death later on. Even with the bad experience, I always held on to the music, remembering the boss theme the most. Rhythm and constant beat just made the fight hype. This high-paced battle music came back to me when I played Star Ocean 2 after begging my dad to buy it off eBay. True story. And yes, I know Star Ocean 2 came out before Valkyrie Profile, but hey, there was no concept of release dates back then. I was always poor and never could afford new games. Sakuraba and a former Wolf Team and Tri-Ace programmer, Hiyora Hatsushiba, the two of them went on and founded Tri-Crescendo, evolving from being a sound work contributor to a game developer in 2001. They worked on Baten Kaitos, with Namco providing some nice fundage. And of course, Sakuraba was the composer for that game and the sequel, Baten Kaitos Origins. The company also created Eternal Sonata, a game where I absolutely loved the soundtrack. Again, he always nails the battles and boss themes, which are very important aspects to get right. Motoi Sakuraba has composed for many games, sticking with the games he had already worked with, such as the Star Ocean and Tales series, except for that time when Go Shina did Tales of Legendia's music. Another awesome composer, but for another time. Sakuraba also did music for various other games, one of them being Dark Souls. honestly didn't know Sakuraba was the composer behind the Dark Souls games. Looking back on it now, some of the boss themes in the game were so obviously done by him. The one that kind of clued me into him being the composer was Great Grey Wolf Sif. You had more of a chance to hear the music that wasn't flooded with a whole bunch of loud noises, and it sounds identical to music found in Valkyrie Profile 2. Covering the extent of Sakuraba's work is extremely difficult to do, especially when I try and make these videos short and sweet. If you're in love with his style, head over to his Wikipedia page or the video game music database, and soak in all of the games he's composed for. Just maybe bypass on Star Ocean 5's soundtrack, as nearly half of them are reused from Star Ocean 3 and 4. As per usual, I'll put my favorite tracks of Motoi Sakuraba's work. For me, a lot of his songs are hype nostalgia trips, like the battle music from Star Ocean 2, Stab with the Sword of Justice, Valkyrie Profile's Unfinished Battle with God, and Tales of Symphonia's remake of Fantasia's song, Fighting of the Spirits. And not to be stuck entirely in the past, I'll add one of my favorite boss themes from Dark Souls 3 in there that he did. Enjoy!